And we're just gonna connect with our breath. Just taking some moments of breath. So we're on our knees, our shoulders are relaxed, maybe your eyes are closed. I just want you to start to breathe, breathing in deep through the nose. Feeling everything expand. And then as you exhale, try to exhale through the nose, feeling sort of that release in your neck, your shoulders, the tension. Take about 5 of these. Maybe even placing a hand on your heart, hand on your belly, and just feeling, presencing yourself. Deep and free. Feeling your heartbeat. One more breath together. Now I want you to take your hands and walk them sort of behind you so that you're leaning back and your belly is sort of pressing out. And then I really want you to think about that, pressing your hips, your belly forward, putting some more weight, grounding your hands down, rolling your shoulder blades back, maybe allowing your gaze, whether eyes are open or closed, to look up at the ceiling, the sky, and breathe. Lifting off your shins. One more breath. Bring your hips down to your heels. And now I want you to walk your hands forward so that you come into a tabletop. We're going to practice our cat and cow. On your cat, you drop your belly, you inhale, you lift your heart. Exhale, you curve your spine, tuck your head, your chin. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your spine. Taking a couple more of these. Maybe moving and twisting side to side. Moving slow. This is my first time today being active, so move slow right now. When you're ready, I want you to find your stillness in your tabletop. Notice your hands, they're active, meaning there's equal space between each finger. Your hands ground down into your mat. You're pressing your first 2 knuckles, your thumb pad. Now I want you to extend your right leg back, either with a flexed foot or a pointed toe. Really press your hands into the mat so your shoulders press up. You lift, you're pressing off the mat. And now I want you to lift the left arm up so your bicep aligns with your ear. And we're balancing here. And I want you to continue to breathe. Ujjayi, in through the nose, maybe audible as it comes out. Through the nose, through the mouth, you choose. Lower your hand, your knee back down on the mat. That same right leg, it's down, both knees are on the mat, we're in tabletop. But I want you to pivot that your shin out to the right. Does that make sense? And then we're gonna roll, kind of roll over, coming onto our hand and our knee. Nice. So that then our left leg extends out. Our left arm maybe reaches up to the sky, or maybe aligns with your ears, reaching forward in front of the room. But don't let your shoulder roll in. Open up your chest and you breathe. And now slowly place your hand, your knee back down on the mat, coming back into a tabletop. Take a breath. Let it go. This time, extend your left leg out, pointed toe, flexed foot, you decide. And then lift your right arm up, bicep aligns with your ear. And you feel everything engaged. You breathe. Building heat in our core, working our muscles. Now place your hand, your knee back down on the mat. I want you to pivot out and kickstand that left leg, shin, and then roll over so that your right leg floats up, your right arm reaches high to the sky, or maybe towards the front of the room. And you breathe. Open up that shoulder, peel it open. And then slowly come back down to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, maybe press your hips back so that they're on your toes. Just stretching your toes, maybe dropping your head, shaking your head no. Come back to tabletop. I want you to press back for your first down dog. And you know what to do. Maybe walk your dog, stepping it out, bringing one heel at a time closer to your mat. And taking a big deep breath as you do so, and then letting it go. And then I want you to find stillness here. I want you to walk your hands to your feet. So now you're in ragdoll. You let everything hang heavy, head, neck, gaze, your drishti is between your knees. Maybe you grab opposite elbows. Maybe you sway side to side. And you notice, you take notice of where you're feeling this without judgment, but noticing. Release your elbows. I want you to walk your hands back out to the top of your mat so that you then come into a high plank and you hold it here. Maybe your toes touch, your heels press back. Again, your fingers are active and you push into the mat so that your shoulders are engaged. You don't sink, you press away. Your core is tight, tailbone slightly tucked. We breathe. Now I want a side plank, heels to the right. So slowly drop your heels. Maybe you lift that left arm up to the sky. And I want you to really think about bringing your hips a little bit higher to the ceiling. Again, really engaging your shoulders, pressing your hand into the mat. And if that's too much, you can come down on a knee or maybe take that top leg, place it in front of you. For 3, 2, and on 1, come back to high plank and you hold for a breath. In, out. Heels to the left for a side plank. You breathe. Come back to high plank and you breathe here for a couple of breaths. In, out. One more. In, out. Press back to down dog. Maybe shake out your head, pedal out your feet. Big breath in, big breath out. Together, take an inhale, rise on your toes. As you exhale, bend your knees. Look at your hands, take a giant step forward. Take a halfway lift, breathe in, lengthen your spine, you press your tailbone back. Forward fold, let it go. One vertebrae at a time, I want you to slowly rise up to a standing position. You can keep your arms down by your side, palms open up. And let's roll our shoulders 3 times back. Now roll them forward 3 times. With a breath in, extend your arms up to the sky. Grab onto your left wrist. I want you to pull to the right. Stretch up, breathe in big. Grab opposite elbow. Pull the opposite direction of what you just did. Release, arms up, breathe in big. And now swan dive, forward fold, all the way down, dropping hands, head, neck. Take a halfway lift, breathe in, put length in your spine. Forward fold, exhale. Rise up, extended mountain pose. Sweep up, Uddiyana Bandha. Your core is tight. Forward fold, exhale. Take a halfway lift, breathe in. Step back for a high plank and hold it here. Together, breathe in. Shift forward, elbows hug tight, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes. We set up for seal pose. Hands come out at a diagonal, fingers cupping. On your inhale, you press into the mat. You lift your heart. And then as you exhale, bring your nose back down to the mat. Inhale, press up for seal pose. Let your heart lead, not your neck, it's definitely not your neck or your head. Exhale, come down. Last one, seal pose. Lift with your heart, your chest, then your gaze follows. Exhale, come down. Bring hands close to your rib cage. Tuck your toes under, ignite your core, ignite your thighs. Press up, high plank. Press back, down dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Together, breathe in. Let it go. Feet to hands. Take a halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, out. Rise up, extended mountain pose. Breathe in. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back for your chaturanga. Keep those elbows hugged tight as you come down to low plank. You untuck your toes, press upward facing dog, peel open, press back, down dog. Together, breathe in. Let it go. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold. Extended mountain pose. Rise up with a little micro bend. Core is tight. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back, your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. We're going to try something new here. So I really want you to think about your hands grounding into the mat, pressing away. And so first we'll start with our 3-legged dog on the right side. Lift your right leg up, but keep your hips square. So don't open up too much if that doesn't keep your hips square. Now I want you to start to shift your weight into that right hand And then try lifting your left arm. Maybe bringing it and reaching it back behind you. And if that's not available, you just play around with it, bringing your hand off the mat and then bringing it back down. And you breathe for 3. And if you fall, that's okay. 2. And then on 1, bring that right leg down, that left arm down. Shake it, shake your head. Big breath. We're going to try this on the other side. So start to shift your weight into that left arm. Float, well, hold on, I take that back. Float your left leg to the sky. Shift your weight to the left arm. And then same thing. And when it's hard, notice how we want to hold our breath. Breathe. And it's okay if you shake, it's okay if you fall. It might be new. And our body is creating a memory within our muscles. And then lower down. Come down to your knees, and I want you to press back for a mini puppy pose. Big breath in. Let it go. In this mini puppy pose, I want you to walk your hands over to the right, another side body stretch. Maybe that left hand comes on top of your right. Create that space and breathe into it. Walk your hands center. And now over to the left, right hand on top of the left. Walk your hands back center. And now I want you to come up on your knees. And I want you to come into a full puppy pose. So that's when we're up on our knees, our hips are high. Extend your arms out so your chest lowers, your forehead lowers. Your hands are still active, so you're pressing into the mat and you're pressing your tailbone towards that back wall. While you're here, I want you to tuck your toes under. Just feel this puppy pose. And then at the same time, see if you can come up on your fingertips, kind of like what we do with seal. This opens our shoulders, our back up just a little bit more. Breathe into this space. Bring your palms back down to the mat. And now, this sounds a little bit funny, so our toes are tucked, but now I want you to almost like snake forward. And then bring your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders. Come down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. We're going to press up for upward facing dog. Make the adjustments that you need to. Maybe your hips scooch up a little. Because again, we want our joint stack. Our shoulders are over our wrists. Your weight is in the tops of your feet so that your knees, your hips are off the mat. And you're opening your heart. Your gaze is forward. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, press back for down dog, rolling over on your toes, then untucking them. Maybe shaking your head. With both, I want you to try to do this simultaneously. I want you to come down into dolphin pose, dropping both forearms down to the mat at the same time. If you can't do that, that's okay. Again, just something that we can work towards. So we're in dolphin pose. Our forearms are on the mat. Our hands are active. Maybe take a little step closer, our feet to our elbows. Feel your core igniting here. Your shoulders are engaged, so you're pressing your forearms, you're pressing your head away. I want you to float your right leg to the sky while you're in this dolphin pose. Take some big breaths in, out, in, out. Bring that right leg down to the mat. Now float your left leg up for this 3-legged dolphin pose. And you breathe. You press your arms into the mat. You push away. Breathe. Lower your left leg down. And now, while we're still in dolphin pose, see if you can do this. Come up into down dog at the same time, both hands. And if you're not there, that's okay. Again, maybe something we work on. Take a big breath in, rise in your toes. As you exhale, bend your knees, look at your hands, giant step forward. Take a halfway lift, breathe in, forward fold, let it go. Rise up, extended mountain pose. Reach your arms out to the side, reach them up high, breathe in, look up. Forward fold, exhale. Do this again, halfway lift, breathe in. Step back for a chaturanga, high. Shift forward, low. Press upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Three-legged dog on the right. Open up for sunbird here. So this time now, I do want your hips to open up to the side wall. Now you stay. We're coming to wild thing. Stepping that lifted leg behind you. That left leg stays straight. And then you reach your hips up to the sky as you press your weight into your heel and into your left arm. Your gaze follows your lifted fingers reaching towards the front of the room. Come back over and move into three-legged dog on the right side again. Big inhale. Step it forward for a low crescent lunge. Both hands stay on the mat and now twist open. Right arm reaches up to the sky. Left arm firmly stays on the mat. That back leg ignites. Pull up at the knee as you twist open. Take this top arm, needle it underneath your planted hand and foot so that then you come into a wide-legged, your right hand down on the mat in the middle, your left arm reaches up, you're pressing your tailbone back, there's length in your spine, and you breathe. Bring that left hand down to the mat. Now walk your hands over to your right foot, pivoting both feet. Come back into that low crescent lunge, but this time your chest is sort of forward here. Now I want you to press your left hand down into the mat. Take your peace fingers of your right fingers here, wrap them around your right big toe, and then slowly come into a side plank, heels to the left, holding on to the right toe. If that's not available, you come up into tree pose with your leg. Otherwise, try grabbing or lifting your leg. Playing around for 3, 2, and on 1. Come back to high plank. Press back, down dog, shake it out. Left legs to the sky. Open up for sunbird. Breathe here for a moment. Come back into wild thing. This time your right leg stays long and straight. You reach your hand up in front of you. Your hips rise to the sky. Allow your chest to open. Your neck to be exposed. Come back to three-legged dog on the left side. Left leg reaches up really high. Big breath in. Step it forward for low crescent lunge with a twist. Left arm reaches up high. Ignite that back leg. Take your big breath here. Let it go. One more in. Let it go. Needle that left arm between the both hand and foot. Come into that wide-legged Twist, left arm down, right arm reaches up high. Bring that right arm down to the mat. Walk your hands now to the top of the mat, pivoting, both feet coming into that low crescent lunge. Your right hand down on the mat, peace fingers of your left, wrap around your left big toe. When you're ready, heel to the right for a side plank. And you play around. Come back to high plank, press back, down dog. Shake it out. Together, inhale, exhale. Come down to your forearms for that dolphin plank. Press firmly into the mat, your full forearm. Walk your toes up a little bit more. Core is igniting here. Float your right leg up to the sky. And you breathe 3 cycles of breath. Right leg down. Float your left leg to the sky. 3 cycles of breath. Left leg down. Come down to your knees. Press back, mini puppy pose. Stretch your arms out. Come to your tabletop. Tuck your toes under, press back, down dog. Together, inhale. Exhale. Walk or hop forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, let it go. Utkatasana chair, you sink your hips first, and then you lift your heart. Together, breathe in. Forward fold, exhale, let it go. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step back your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior 1 on the right side. Take cactus arms here. Peel them back. Breathe in, reach your arms up, look up. And now chaturanga. Hands to the mat. Maybe you float that right leg. Press upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, out. Warrior 1 on the left. Maybe cactus arms here. Breathe in, reach up, look up. Chaturanga. Float that left leg, elbows hug tight. Press upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Shake it out. Float your right leg to the sky, hold it here. Square off your hips, your shoulders. Place more weight in that right hand. Try lifting that left arm. Play around with it. Wobble, but try. Place your hand back down on the mat, lower your right leg. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Left leg to the sky. You know the drill. Try lifting that right arm. Take notice if one side is easier than the other. Bring that right hand down, left leg down. Walk your hands to your feet. Come into ragdoll and just let everything hang heavy. Maybe here we'll do a bind. Grab onto the back of your calves. And on every exhale, hinging just a little bit closer. Letting go. One vertebrae at a time, slowly rise up, really slow here. We've been upside down. Extend your arms up, breathe in. Prayer hands to heart center, exhale, heart center here. Do this again, sweep your arms up, breathe in. Heart center, exhale. One more time, extended mountain pose, breathe in. Heart center, exhale. This time forward fold all the way down. Walk your hands out to the top of the mat so you come into that high plank. Side plank, heels to the right. This time, do try maybe that tree pose, that left leg. Try not to put weight on any part of your leg. And then come down to high plank. Side plank, heels to the left. Lift those hips a little higher to the sky. Bring your back, come back to high plank. Press back, down dog. Together, breathe in. Let it go. I want you to hop forward, but stay low. So we're on our toes. Our glutes are close to our heels. I want you to lift your heart up so you're looking towards the front of the room. Your thighs or your legs are kind of magnetic pull, pulling in. Now, I want you to, it's called a pistol pose. You're gonna shift your weight onto your left toes. You're up on your toes, shift your weight into your left toes. And I want you to lift up your right leg and maybe grab onto the bottom of your foot or your calf. I want you to extend it out. And then that hand that might be balancing you, try lifting it off, maybe grabbing onto the top of your foot. Your drishti, your focus needs to be strong. And if you fall, again, that's okay. We're just trying new. It's called pistol pose. And then when you're done, lower that foot down. Let's try the other side. So create your foundation first. Your drishti is strong. Finding one thing to look at. Shift your weight to your right foot. Lift that left leg. A good little hint here is pull your thighs together, that magnetic pull. Allow there to be glue between your thighs to help create stability. And then, I'm proud of you girls. And then come down, and I want you to step back into high plank. Just shake out your head. And we just did pistol pose. Okay. Big breath in. Big breath out. Float your right leg to the sky. Open up sunbird. Just hang out here. Try to see if you can bring your heel a little closer to your glutes. Bring that right leg down. Left leg to the sky. Open up sunbird. Feel it in your quad when you bring your heel to your glutes a little bit more. Bring your left leg down to the mat. Now take a giant step forward, feet to hands, and then slowly roll all the way up. And I want you to come to the middle of your mat, And we're gonna have your feet, we're gonna do a wide-legged stance here. So take up your mat in your wide-legged stance. Your feet are 12 o'clock, maybe even pigeon-toed in. Place your hands on your hips. I want you to take a breath in and hinge back. Allow your chest to see the sky. And then as you exhale, I want you to fold forward, but stop halfway. And now tee out your hands as if you're flying. But activate those fingers, ready? Meaning they're not just limp, there's energy, there's sparking energy all the way from your shoulders, your elbows, your wrist to your fingers. Your gaze is looking down at the floor, and there's length in your spine. You breathe. Take out any tension in your neck, maybe shaking it, no. And you breathe. And now fold forward, releasing your hands down to the mat, dropping your head, your neck, your gaze is now between your knees. And then taking maybe a bind here, grabbing on to the back of your legs, your ankles, your feet. Maybe bending one leg at a time and just taking some breaths here, kind of playing around to what feels right. And then come up halfway. So our hands are on the mat in front of us. Bring your hands now to your hips. Put a little micro bend in your knees. Slowly rise up. Nice work, girls. All right, pivot your feet out. So toes out, heels in. Come into goddess pose. So you sink your hips down. Cactus our arms. Pull your shoulder blades back. And I want you to just close your eyes here. And just breathe. Listen to the sounds in your room. Together, big breath in. Big breath out. One more in. Out. Slowly come to a standing position, hands back on hips. And now I want you to do Standasana to the back of your mat. So come down, let your heart stay high. Nice work. Now Standasana to the front of your mat. Walk your hands to your right foot so you're in a low crescent lunge. Nice work. Place your hands on the mat so it's framing that right foot. Actually, now I want you to drop on that back left knee. We're gonna do lizard pose. So heel to toe, your right foot out, toes point out, heel in, maybe your toes are off the mat. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, I want you to come down into your forearms, opening up your hip. Maybe your leg opens up so that you're on the knife edge of your foot. I want you to breathe here. With that left forearm and hand, place it firmly into the mat so it's parallel to the side of your mat. Take your right arm, reach it behind you, and bend that left knee. Maybe you touch your foot, maybe you don't, but you're just opening up here. Bring that right arm back down to the mat. Tuck your toes under of that back left foot. Bring your heart up. Heel toe your right foot back center. I want you to pop up off your knee, okay? We're gonna do basically a, I don't know what you call this. All right, so I want you in sort of like that low runner's lunge, okay? And we're gonna switch feet, so like a switch foot. And so now left leg is center, right foot is back. Nice. So I want you to do it again. Really press and push your weight so that your hands are helping to push. Yes. Do it again. Do about 3 of these. Try to land soft with control. And then on your last one, make it so that your left leg leads in this low crescent lunge. And now drop that right knee down to the mat. We're going to come into lizard pose, so you heel toe out, your left toes out. Take a breath. Come down to your forearm. Find a release here. Now I want you to have that right forearm all the way down the mat, active fingers, reach that left arm up and around behind you, maybe grabbing the top of your foot. Maybe one side is easier than the other. And then slowly bringing both hands down the mat, coming up onto your hands, heel toeing that left foot in, popping up on that back right toe. We're going to do that switch kick again, about 3-4 times. And maybe it's to the 5th one, so the right leg leads. Come down on your knees, and I want you to press back for a mini puppy pose. Stretch your arms out in front of you. Big breath in. Big breath out. Come up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, press back, down dog. Right leg to the sky, big breath in. And now half pigeon on the right. That right knee comes to your right wrist. Align your back leg so it's parallel to the side of your mat. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, see where you can let go. Bringing your forehead down to the mat and letting yourself melt. Surrendering. Slowly press yourself up. Tuck your back toe under. Press back for 3-legged dog on the right side. Big breath in. Open up for sunbird. Maybe come into wild thing again. Flipping over your left leg long. Reach your hips up to the sky. Come back to 3-legged dog on the right side. Big breath in. Lower that right leg down. Left leg to the sky. Big inhale. Half pigeon on the left. Take your breath before you let go. Where are you still holding on? Where? Take another breath to let go in your jaw, your head, your shoulders. We try to control so much. And sometimes we just have to remember to say, job well done. We've done our best. We've put forth our effort. But it's time for a breath. It's time for a surrender. Slowly press yourself up. Press back, three-legged dog on the left side. Big inhale. Open up, sunbird. Wild thing. And find your expression here. Three-legged dog on the left side. Big breath in. Lower that left leg down. Come down to your knees and then find yourself sitting. Basically your hips back on your heels, and we're facing, what time is it? Oh, we've got a little bit of time. Okay. Let's do some wide-legged stuff. Okay, so take up the width of your mat. We're gonna come into a wide-legged seat here. Right, as we sit tall, bring your arms up, breathe in. As you exhale, I want you to hinge forward, trying to keep length in your spine as long as you can. Maybe reaching your hands out in front of you, hands on the floor, the rug, and dropping your head. Same thing here. Where can you let go? Allowing your breath to help relax you. Allowing your breath to help elongate you. Walk your hands over to the right leg. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, same thing here. Or can you come down a little bit lower, finding your edge, not overdoing it. Maybe grabbing on to the top of your feet, using that bind here. Keeping if you're holding on with your left hand, keep your left hand on your foot or your ankle or wherever you're holding. And now start to wrap under. Bring your right arm, your shoulder under, almost like as if you're trying to crawl underneath your armpit. And just kind of go as much as you can, opening up here. And then slowly release. If you've got a bind still, your hands come back center. Take a big breath. And now walk your hands over to your left foot. Taking notice, one side different from the other. Take that right hand now, maybe place it on your toes, your foot, and then try to crawl underneath, again, your armpit, rolling your shoulder, your right shoulder blade back. Release your grip here. Walk your hands back out to that center. One more time. Take a big breath. Exhale. Does your nose maybe come down to the floor? If not, that's okay. But we're getting there. And then slowly walk your hands back up so you lift at the chest straight. We're going to do Gomukhasana. So bring that left leg down on the ground
hey
first.
guys,
Hi.
I have to jump into a meeting, but thank you so much.
You're
Make you
welcome.
much better.
Thank
Bye,
you.
girls.
Bye, girls. Oh, all right. Left knee down, and then right knee over. Find both your sit bones, and let's try the hands, the arms this time. Ready? So, right arm reaches up to the sky. Bend it at the elbow. Maybe use your fingertips to hold onto your shoulder blade wherever you can. Take your left arm, reach it behind you. See if you can touch your fingers. See if they can clasp. I can't, but regardless, that's what we're aiming for. So as much as you can do, hold here and breathe. And now take a breath and hinge forward just a little bit. Trying to open up the hips just a little bit more. Come back up, center. Release your arms. Sweep your arms over to the left side. Both feet planted on the mat. Spin your way out of this so that you go into Gomukhasana on the other side. Nice work. So now our left knee is over our right. Find your sit bones first. And then left arm reaches up high, big breath in. Bend at the knee, the elbow. And then bring that right arm, reach it behind you. And again, take notice. This side for me, for my arms, is easier. No judge, you just take notice. You take a big breath in together. As you exhale, see if you can hinge forward a little bit more, creating a deeper stretch. Release and unfold your legs. I want you to come down. We're going to do a reading, but let's come down onto our backs. We're going to do supine twists. So hug your knees to your chest and hug in. And you girls, thank yourself. You guys always show up. And I love you for that. Thank you so much. Thank yourself. Take a big breath in. Lower your left leg down, holding onto your right knee, and then lower that right leg down over to the left. Tee out your right arm. Let your gaze follow. While you're here, see if you can extend that right leg, feeling it in your quad, your hamstring. Maybe your right toes are down, touching the ground. Maybe they're not, that's okay. Trying to still see though if you can keep that right shoulder onto the mat. So for me to do that, my right leg kind of lifts up, and that's okay. You just take notice and you stretch. Slowly come to center. Your gaze back to the sky. Big breath in, holding both knees close to your chest. As you exhale, right leg down. And then left leg slowly over. Arm extends out on the left. Maybe try on this side, extending that left leg out. Slowly come back center. Come in real quick to happy baby. Grabbing the tops of your feet, rocking side to side. And then come into that center in the happy baby, and now extend your legs out long. Bring your knees together. Come into either Supta Baddha Konasana or Shavasana, whatever you would love. And you've worked hard, so you let your mind continue that deep rest. You listen to the sounds of your room, your breath, your heartbeat. The real deal. There's something in me that won't give up, that struggles to stay open and not just shrug or go numb. Lord knows there are a raft of reasons to pull the covers over my head, to refuse to get out of bed, to worship at the shrine of cynical despair. Call it what you will, the still, small voice, light within, spirit, life force, all that is, no name. every name, but the outcome is the same. There's something in me that won't just roll over and play dead, despite the tall odds stacked against it. I mean, if we were playing charades, what could I say? Sounds like pain? Sounds like first you struggle, then you die? I can't dispute the truth that life is hard and certainly not smooth. And yet, and still, and once again, I try. I reach inside and find a moment of wonder, the urge to love, the truth that we're all walking in the same direction. If I can write a poem, cook a meal, plant a few seeds, if I can leave the world a better place today for having lived, isn't that enough? Yeah, I know. I want proof too, or lacking that, at least a dramatic scene where I'm swept away by a tidal wave of bliss, never to suffer again. The real deal is the choice to stay awake in the face of what is actually happening. It's the unbearable truth that I and you and all of us are learning to be human at the same time that we're divine. Perfect imperfection, trial and error, the universe's grand experiment. Each one of us is no less important to the cosmos than the Big Bang. I've got my role to play, even if I can't articulate exactly what it is. All I can do is say yes to what is mine to do. Say yes and take a single step, casting my vote for life and not a living death. Slowly roll over to your right side, coming into the fetal position, your forehead down on the mat. Slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. And you sit tall. You sit proud. And you're relaxed. And you've worked hard. Sweep your arms up, big breath in. Prayer hands, thumb knuckles to your forehead. And together we bow. Namaste.